one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. Just gotta mean something to you. They gotta mean something. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2 3. 1 2 3.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps cause they know what happens next. So without further ado,
Free smoke.
look. Scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much I have you doing what it meant to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers. Been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa Bars forever, like they decided to throw me under Slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop 1,000,000 songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1,100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our blocks, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril.
Winning has a price. And leadership has a price.
When did winning not become the main thing? I always say keep the main thing, where, you know, winning is the only thing that truly matters.
Let me be very clear. I'll never give up. Never.
Welcome back to another episode of Kicking It with Saint. I am your host, Saint. You know, it's crazy how I decide to say that sometimes and sometimes I don't. Like, sometimes I be like, I am your host, Saint. And then sometimes I just get right to it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm in my mind, I'm like, they gotta know. They gotta know that I'm Saint. You know what I'm saying? But some people be coming to the channel, like I said before, thinking that this is a Saints channel. But I feel like when you hear me say, welcome to Kicking It with Saint, that, you know what I'm saying, you get it. Like, I understand it say Saints World. Maybe I need to just change the... Nah, I'm not changing it from Saints World, because Saints World is going to be bigger than just the show Kicking It with Saint. Kicking It with Saint is the leading show on the channel right now. But it ain't going to be the only show on the channel one day. That's when Saints World will make more sense. It's the mind of Saint. Really, that's probably what I should name it. I don't know, man. We still thinking about it. But anyways, welcome back, man. I appreciate y'all being here with me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. I've been watching a lot of fighting today. A lot of MMA. My car broke down, bro. I'm depressed about it. I am. But gotta keep going. Gotta keep moving. Gotta figure out something. I gotta buy a new car. That's looking like where it's about to be. So, you know. That's how that's the problem in my life right now. But I will find a way to move past this. Either way, I hope y'all having a great day, great afternoon, great night, whatever point in time of the day you listening to this. We got to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. Gotta talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. Gotta talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. Boy, the Philadelphia Eagles. I've been watching a lot of fighting today, though. MMA fighting since my car broke down. You know what I realized? It's only two things that will make me stop recording this show or stop recording it as normal. If I went to prison, I don't know why I had to get that dark that quick, but like if I did some wild shit to get me sent away, obviously that wouldn't be good for us. But And if I went back to like legitimately trying to become a fighter again, because, well, ain't no trying. It's just when you're a fighter, you have to live a completely different lifestyle, bro. The dieting, the constant meal intake, the protein intake, the calories, whether you cutting weight, and then on top of all of that, on top of all of doing those things, now you got to stick with your training. And I'm not talking about like training camps. That's a whole different beast. I'm talking about every day trying to sharpen your skills, because you can't take days off, because other people who fight and trying to be great, they not taking days off. And if you never look at it like that, then you will never be great. I'm just going to tell you that off rip. So, because I remember back in the day when I was a fighter, like back when I was younger and I was fighting, bro, and I wonder, do the people who fought like in tournaments and stuff that I was doing, do they feel this way too? I don't know if any of us thought that what we was doing at the time could turn into like us being in UFC or kickboxing leagues and stuff like that. I don't know if any of us was thinking that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not talking about boxers. But I don't know, based off of where you come from, I guess I don't know if anybody who fought like, because I remember tournaments that I was fighting, bro. I remember fighting this one dude, bro. I was going to say something. This motherfucker hit me so hard in the chest, bro. I had never been hit hard enough, and I done been kicked in the chest real hard, like where that shit was tough. Like this one dude hit me with a side kick, and I didn't see it coming, and he damn near knocked the wind out of me. This one, bro. So I was loading up to try to hit a butterfly kick, bro, because I had already beat this dude. Like I knew when the fight ended, it was when the time had eclipsed, I was gonna win the fight. This one dude, so I was trying to get fancy at the end of it. Bro, it was this one dude who knew what I was finna do. And me and him was talking trash to each other throughout the fight. He knew what I was finna do, set up for like to be fancy for a butterfly kick. And he timed it perfect, and he hit me with just like a roundhouse kick. This dude kicked me so clean in the chest, son. I think to this day, that's the hardest I've ever been kicked in the chest. Like that shit hurt for like 3 weeks, son. Like I felt that shit for 3 weeks. That shit hurt. And then I remember one time I was I think that shit hurt. I think that shit had hurt for longer than 3 weeks. But that ain't even the worst I done been hit or kicked. Cause punches ain't never really, the hardest I done been punched. Bro, the hardest I done been punched was actually by a female. She sucker punched me when I wasn't paying no attention. So that don't even really count. When I'm expecting to be punched, or like when I'm in an actual fight, because I wasn't fighting this woman. I was getting some pizzas out the trunk, and she just came out of nowhere and socked my ass. Funny how I just said that. But the hardest I done been punched, aside from when Buddy punched me in the chest in that one tournament, I'm trying to think, what was the hardest I done been punched in a tournament or in a fight or when I was in gym training or sparring, any type of fight. I think this dude named Lou or Lee, I can't remember exactly which one it was. It was either Lou or Lee. He was a Chinese dude. He wasn't taller than me, but he was big, bro. Like he wasn't even like, man, I started training. So me and him went to the same gym. And he moved up the ranks so quick, bro. And I always looked at him as like the dude who I had to be better than. Because I was like, if I slip, then he going to end up being better than me. And I remember one time I had an attitude. This is why I learned to never fight with an attitude. Because he beat me one night when he was preparing for a tournament that I wasn't going to be in. And he only beat me because I was pissed off that day anyways. I was mad because I couldn't go to the tournament. But it was because of personal reasons why I couldn't go to the tournament. And I basically was just in there just half-assing it. And he beat me. And when he beat me, I remember thinking to myself, I cannot believe I just did that and let this dude beat me, bro. I ain't never in my life gonna do that again. But he punched me in that fight, and that shit hurt so bad. He had punched me in the chest. No. He punched me kind of in the neck area, because it was like a punch that was like high. Because I think it was a foul, because they stopped the fight, I believe. And mind, we in training, like, so we just at the gym. When you spar at the gym, like, okay, so if you a boxer, I'm pretty sure you know, it's still, some people think sparring is just like a free fight or something. It's not. But I don't want you to confuse it with training either. But sparring happens in training. And so when you sparring, it's going to always be a ref, not necessarily a ref, but one of the coaches is going to be refereeing it. Like, they're going to be keeping time, keeping track of the points and all that. So they simulating, basically. We simulating a real fight, but it's sparring. This motherfucker had hit me so hard in the throat, chest area, where it was like the bottom of his fist did hit me in the chest, but a lot of it got me in my Adam's apple. Bro, that shit hurt so bad. I think that's the hardest that was the most disruptive punch probably I done taken. But the hardest hits to me always is a kick. Like, dude, this motherfucker Lou, whichever name it is, he did give me the hardest kick I ever. He kicked me in my thigh, my right thigh. Boy, I feel that shit thinking about it. He could kick, boy. He would kick you in your calf muscle. He'd always kick you in that area. He usually don't get high enough to always, which was crazy that he kicked me in my thigh like that. But he was a great kicker, bro. He was. I done took a lot of kicks to this my lower right thigh. That's why that shit always hurting. Like, I'm rubbing it right now. But if I were to get back into fighting, you know, because when we was fighting back in the day, bro, we didn't think that shit was gonna lead us nowhere. I'm pretty sure a lot of them now who was fighting back in the day at tournaments and stuff like that probably like, yeah, they just feel like now if you a fighter and you do a lot of tournaments and you do all type of different mixed martial arts, it's a easier path or a more realistic path, or you could see a better path of getting somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention, growing up, as much as I love the UFC, I didn't even love the UFC. I love John Jones. Like, I watched him. I still remember seeing his stories when, like, he was coming up in the UFC world. Like, the Rampage Jacksons, and that was the MMA I grew to love. But before that, I was huge in the WWE. So while I was really doing mixed martial arts training, I never took that shit serious. Never. Not serious as in, like, I wasn't being serious when I was doing it. I never took it serious as in, I'm going to the UFC off of this. Like, we getting belts in Taekwondo and mixed, like, different things we doing. Muay Thai was late, so that don't even matter. And I didn't even do that for long. When you earning different ranks and whatnot in your different mixed profession, whether it be belts, I don't know what it is in boxing. I also don't know what it is in karate because I've never done karate. But I saw Stephen Thompson, I think, is a dude who is a karate guy. That's interesting. But anyways, we didn't think we was making it to the UFC or something like that. Nowadays, I feel like more people who get into mixed martial arts, that they know a better path where they can figure out a way to get to the UFC or whatever Bellator or wherever it may be. All these things might have existed back when I was younger, but like, I wasn't thinking to myself, I'm gonna figure out how to get to Pride. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't thinking that deep. Especially when you black, bro, you thinking about being a hooper, a football player. You ain't thinking about being a mixed martial artist, even though that's what I like doing more than anything else. You know, when you wrestling, you don't think of, well, I think wrestling is a little bit different because I got into wrestling later on in life. When I first was introduced to wrestling, I hated it. Absolutely hated it. And at the time when I was watching MMA, I wasn't paying attention to how much guys wrestled. So I didn't think that was as much a profession that I needed more than striking. Being able to use my fists, my feet, being able to make people submit. I didn't think wrestling was as important until I got into my later years. And I'm not old. I just want y'all to know I'm not even 30 yet. So I'm trying to tell you, and I wouldn't even walk away from the show and the groaning, but I would still, like, I know I wouldn't be able to do as many episodes and do it as often and stay up to date on a lot of stuff because of how crazy I would be training, bro, to stay on a regimen to make, bro, like, I would become an absolute psychopath to try to get back into fighting. And that would take me away. But that's the only thing I could think of that could take me away from the channel. Like we said, prison, but you know, we ain't going to prison. But fighting, because I just love it so much, bro. I really do. The thing that adrenaline rush when you looking across at a dude, and if you're a woman that can just, you don't say they can beat your ass in your head realistically. You're not saying to yourself like, yeah, this dude finna beat my ass. But you know man, he could hit me with some shit. You know what I'm saying? Every fight that I ever been in, I'm not talking about unorganized fights. All the organized fights I've ever been in, I never disrespected the person across from me. Like, I always thought going into this shit, like, except for one tournament. But other than that, coincidentally, the one tournament that I came in, it wasn't that I was disrespecting my opponents, but I was just on a mission because I had just came in last place at a previous tournament. And that to me was just the most embarrassing shit. Like, I always think to myself, all the times I came in second place was my worst L's. Cause like, motherfucker, you couldn't beat one more person to get first. But the more and more, cause I'm even, if you could see my face, the more and more I think to myself, every time I think of the time I came in last place and didn't rank and they gave me a Spirit Award, I literally threw the shit on the floor. Like, I didn't even put it on. The more and more I think about that, that had to be my toughest. That's worse than coming in second. I understand the little dumbass quotes that we come up with. Second place, the first lose and all this. Nah, bro. Come in last place and see how that shit feel when you really know that you could have won. Like, be somebody who, that's why I understand why athletes like Cam Newton and other players who look sour when they match. Bro, I get it. I get it. Show me, I don't remember who said it. Show me somebody who is, show me a great loser. And I mean, show me a great loser and I'll show you a loser. Because it's no way you should be happy and great at losing, bro. That's some losing shit. I never forget that day, bro. I was heated, bro. I wanted to whoop everybody ass, bro. And you want to know how I knew that was the day I knew I just hated losing? Because I was crying. I literally was crying. And it wasn't crying because of emotion or nothing like that. It was like, bro, I really just came in last place, bro. Like, that shit irked me, bro. I was like, bro, I remember thinking to myself, bro, whatever I did to come in last, I ain't never doing this shit again. Even though I came to the conclusion, it wasn't nothing that I had done, bro. It was them judges, bro. It was them judges and the fact that they had people in the group that was at the gym that they went to, bro. And if you don't understand, if you got people that's in the gym that you judging and they bring back first place, second place, that make your gym look good. More people gonna want to sign up to be a part of your gym. You can use that as things to lure people into your gym. So I ain't like that. But a L was a L was a L was a L, and it's always gonna be an L. And that shit changed me. So boy, if I ever got back into fighting, boy, I'm trying to tell you. I don't know what weight class I would fight at though, because I'm sitting at 200 pounds. And I'm a slim 200 too. At the moment, I'm a slim 200 because I drink a lot of water. I'm trying to think. I probably wouldn't try to get up. I don't know. I really want to get to 224. But I don't know. It'll be very interesting, though, just to get back into fighting and all that different type of stuff. But anyways, we got to talk about, I procrastinated enough. Let's talk about them Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles lose to the San Francisco 49ers, and the sky is officially falling. My friends, the sky is officially falling because that's 3 L's in a row for the Eagles. Now you drop to 5th place in the NFC. Now I'm not really worried about the Eagles being able to beat any of these lower teams in the playoffs, but I am worried about the Eagles defense. And I hate that I didn't give y'all I wanted to work my way into it, bro. So ignore what I just said, bro. Fuck what I just said. Listen, it's not even that I'm concerned about the Eagles, being able to compete against these other teams in the playoffs, these lower ranked teams. But let me tell you what my problem is. Something that I didn't had a problem with for a long time. And as much as I give the Eagles a lot of credit, it's one thing that I always bring up when I talk about a negative when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles. And if you watch the show, you know exactly where I'm going. That fucking secondary. I mean, I want to tell you that the Eagles defense is bad. I really do. But if they had time to defend anybody, I do believe the pass rushers would get home a little bit more. I do believe the linebackers will look a little bit different. Now, I can't really get too mad at the Eagles linebackers. They haven't had the seasons that they had last year and previously, but the Eagles secondary is just not good to me. And they had that short stretch where they looked great. But last year, even when they got to the Super Bowl, midway through the season, I started to say, the Eagles secondary can be had. I don't even remember what it was and what game it was that made me think to myself, this Eagles secondary ain't what people think it is. But they had so many sacks at that time, and they got to the Super Bowl, people wasn't really caring too much about what I was trying to say. The Eagles secondary is a problem. I believe at some point in time last year I said that that's the one thing that can hold them back. That's the thing that's holding them back. Now, I'm not going to put it all on the secondary, but I'm just trying to me, the Eagles secondary is a glaring problem. Slay, he didn't play because he hurt right now. But a matter of fact, before I even get to Slay, a great point was made about the Eagles by Troy Aikman or Joe Buck yesterday. No. It wasn't even by one of them. It was by Shannon Sharp, I think. Slay is out, meaning the next best cornerback is Bradbury. So you would think the action would go towards the dude filling in for Slay. They targeted Bradbury as if he was the Slay replacement. That is interesting. But nonetheless, Slay, I do believe Slay is a great player. I just don't think he's the same player he was in Detroit, where Detroit wasted his prime. Now, Slay done been good since he done been in Philly. I just don't think he the same, whether it be the foot speed at times, he gonna beat you because he done played this game for a long time. He still got something left in the tank, but he ain't always gonna beat you just off of athleticism and physical ability. When you mix that in with the fact that I don't think James Bradbury is a great coverage corner as far as like if you go to a zone. Like I think he's more comfortable playing up in guys or playing close to the line of scrimmage against his guys being able to touch him. I don't really think he great at covering guys the way I don't think he a bad corner. That's why it's interesting. When you put these guys in a great scheme with a great players around them, they can be great. But it's kind of like Josh Norman. Josh Norman was great with Carolina, but I never thought to myself, man, he is a great cover corner. I just felt like he was great when he was up at the line of scrimmage and able to be physical. They didn't call a ton of flags on some of the plays that he probably should have got flags for. But then when you start to, what happened when you can't press certain receivers and they can just blow past you? What happened when you can run, when you go up against a receiver that's a big body receiver that can play through contact? That's when the Julios start to kick. And listen, when a cornerback is in his absolute prime, they can get away with certain things that help them negate that. But what happened when the ref not giving you those, when they calling the flags and stuff like that? To me, that's when things get a little bit rocky. Now, I'm not telling you that Josh Norman had a very short prime also. And coincidentally, James Bradbury was also a Carolina Panther who had a short prime. But because I don't look at James Bradbury in the light of like a Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman could cover. Like, regardless of what people want to say about, oh, he don't play enough man and yada, yada, yada. For one, bro, it's okay to like Darrelle Revis and also like Richard Sherman. It's okay to think Darrelle Revis is the greatest corner of all time and still give Richard Sherman his respect. Like, to look at Richard Sherman's film and think to yourself, oh, this dude never played man. He was all right in coverage. He was backed up because he had Earl Thomas, who played the safety, free safety. Him and Richard Sherman rarely ever lined up. And I don't even know if they ever lined up on the same side of the field. Cam Chancellor is who Richard Sherman had playing over him. And Cam Chancellor played in the box a lot. But he was also a cover safety. Cam was that guy. Bam, bam. But to look at Richard Sherman's tape and think to yourself, oh, this was a guy who was limited to just the scheme that Pete Carroll had him in. That's stupid. That don't even make sense. So I'm past this thing where people hate on Richard Sherman just because they love Darrelle Revis or because Darrelle Revis told you that he wasn't great. It's foolish. You could just go look at Richard Sherman and what he's done and know that, yeah, this dude was him. He was one of them. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, when I look at the Philadelphia Eagles defense, the secondary specifically, because when I look at the linebacking core, you still got Hassan Reddick. When I look at the defensive line, you still got Jalen Carter and the other studs on that line. To me, in the secondary, you do got Kevin Byard. But what if this ain't the scheme for him? Because he done been back there when they got torched these last couple, and they didn't even really get torched last night. And I think that had more to do with the fact of who they were playing on the other side. But on the game-winning drive, and this is why, listen, I might not say a lot of things right in your opinion, but I know for a fact at this point what I done said when I say defense for an entire game does not matter. There will be moments in a game where you need to make at least 1 to 3 stops. In a rare case, 4. But the game come down to 3 stops usually. Those are the plays that matter. Because at the end of the day, an offense will stop itself. A defense will stop an offense. A referee will stop an offense. Coaching will stop an offense. One of those outcomes will happen to mitigate damage. Now, obviously, you got those rare games where an offense just go all out and the ref ain't stopping them. The coaching ain't stopping them. They ain't stopping themselves. Obviously, you can have those. But most NFL games will play out where you have at least 3 stops to get a chance to win the game or to win the game. When you cannot get those stops, that's when the game is flipped. Not playing great defense for an entire game. I done seen teams play great defense for an entire game and still lose because they couldn't get those 2 stops that they needed to win the game. See, what great defense allows you to do is lower the number of key stops. The Eagles played great defense for the majority of the entire game. The prize for that was not that you win the game. It's that now you need 2 big stops, really 1, and the game is yours. The Eagles couldn't get that 1 stop. So it completely nullified the great defense they played all game. Seattle, the game came down to, if you want to look at the last stop by Julian Love as a real stop, I don't look at it that way. I didn't think the Eagles was going to win that game after the Seahawks scored. But for the Seahawks, the Seahawks got multiple big stops in this game. But when it came down to it, and because of how the Seahawks came into this, in my mind, they had every damn stop was a stop that they needed. But nonetheless, the game came down to 2 stops for Seattle. They got both of them. Defense for an entire game does not matter if you cannot get the key stops in the game that you have to get. Point blank, period. Which is why I will always believe defense for an entire game does not matter. Defense in spots is what matters. Because when you have those spots, those moments in the game where now we need you to get a stop and you don't get those stops, so now the team build momentum. And then you don't get the next stop. Now the team build more momentum and you can't stop the momentum. Now the pressure back on you. You don't score. This team know that now not only did you not score, they scored twice, stopped you from scoring. They get the ball back. Now what's stopping them now? Because you demoralized, your defense demoralized, your team demoralized, your fans demoralized. And this other team has just sucked all the energy out of the stadium and they running with it. But sure, the great defense you played all game matters. Don't seem to matter now. And this is why I get irritated with the media too. How many times have what I just said we've seen play out? Think about it. Think about how many games you done seen where you got pissed off at your team because they blew it at the end after playing great defense all game. Think about it. Because the first thing you usually do is blame the offense. But think about it. How many of them games actually just was your defense not picking up them key stops that could have won you the game, that could have killed momentum for the other team? Think hard about that. And that's how most of these games play out. But the media never say that. They always want to just talk about these ridiculous numbers. And that's why I say numbers do matter in certain parts. But it's certain numbers that matters. What defenses are great at killing another team's momentum late in the game when another team is building up momentum? Judge that. It's things in the game that happen that you can't necessarily stat. You just got to watch the games to see it, understand it, and know what you're watching. You can't stat that. And if it's somebody out there who could, boy, I would love to hire them one day. Because those are the stats that matter. But the Philadelphia Eagles are in trouble. They are in trouble right now. I'm lying. Listen, I know this is a 3 L's in a row. I get it. And I understand some people want me to hit the panic button. But much like I done said about the Chiefs only real, to me, the only team that's, the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Bills, man. The Bills ain't a playoff team yet for the AFC, but I don't care what I see from these teams in the season, man. Those 3 teams have great quarterbacks. At the end of the day, you got to find a way to beat those 3 quarterbacks. When I look in the NFC, yes, Philly just lost this game. But I don't trust any of the quarterbacks in the NFC on the level I would trust the way I look at Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. I don't look at Dak like that. I don't look at Purdy like that. Now, that's why I look at Philly and say, yeah, they lost this game, but do I believe in them any less if they played the Detroit Lions in Detroit? No. Because if Jalen Hurts coming there ready to have a big game, let's say you get the good Eagles in the playoffs on the road. I done seen the good Eagles beat teams on the road for the last 2 years. I know we like to act like these last 3 game stretch where they lost is what they've been for the last 2 years, but that's just not the case. I have to be honest with y'all. Do I think less of the Eagles? The Eagles right now, if they played the Detroit Lions in Detroit in the playoffs, why would I think any less of the Eagles? I see what Detroit do against actual great teams. I done seen what Detroit did against top tier competition. I'm still worried about the Philadelphia Eagles secondary. I think anybody can go in there and have a great game against Philly secondary. But at the end of the day, the quarterback position still matters in my opinion. And y'all know how I talk about quarterbacks. Jared Goff is not better than Jalen Hurts, and he cannot do for a team what Jalen Hurts can do. So I'm still taking Jalen Hurts in that type of game. The only reason or the only teams that would concern me is the teams that concern me before this game happened, and that the same team that would have concerned me whether they won or lost this game. And that's San Fran and Dallas, because those are the only 2 teams in the the NFC that to me could go into Philly or beat Philly at their place in the playoffs. Simple as that. I have no faith in the Vikings. I have no faith in whatever team come out of the NFC South. I have no faith in whatever team come out of the division with the Bears. And and the Lions. So to me, at the end of the day, and it is one other team I actually do think could go into, but it would still be a stretch for me. And that'd be the Rams. But that's because the Rams done been there, done that. But outside of those 3 teams, and I don't even quite know if I really should have the Rams in that situation. To me, I know I was rocking with the Eagles for a while this year. And while I've lost no faith as far as like the Eagles being able to get to the Super Bowl, my pick for the Super Bowl changed in the NFC. It changed probably 2 weeks ago when I thought that San Fran beat them. The Cowboys haven't been my Super Bowl favorite. Well, you know what? If they played right now, I'm glad Dak just lost this game, because I said something last week that I didn't fully believe in, but I had to say it because, I didn't want to shit on Dak because I like Dak. But now that Dak did exactly what I thought he was going to do against the Buffalo Bills, this is why I love Josh Allen, man. He always show up when his boy need him the most, man. Josh knew that I needed him, and he said, I got you, Saint. I promise y'all, one day when we get Josh Allen on the show and we interview him, I promise you, bro, I hope that's when we already got a lot of things going, because it's going to be a great day. Him and Lamar Jackson, Aaron Donald, bro, going to be some of the best episodes. But listen, when I needed my boy the most, he said, Saint, I got you. Don't even worry. He said, and I really got you today because I'm only going to complete 7 passes and we still going to beat this motherfucker. And because of that, bro, Dak's not going in to Dak. I don't have faith in Dak going into San Fran. And the worst part about this is that's Brock Purdy playing quarterback, man. That's a game manager like you. The fact that you can't raise your level of play when you go up against an upper echelon game manager is crazy to me. The fact that you don't go into that game with the aura of this Dak Prescott gonna win this game. Because if Lamar Jackson, the only reason, and I get it to a certain extent, the media do a lot of dick sucking for the 49ers without actually doing deep dives into the 49ers. But in my mind, when I think about Lamar, Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, I'm thinking to myself, they always going to have a chance against a great 49ers team. Because as great as the 49ers supporting cast may be, and it always is littered with greatness, Brock Purdy or whoever they got playing quarterback at some point in time going to have to make a play because I know those other dudes will. Pat Mahomes did it in the Super Bowl against Jimmy Garoppolo. Joe Burrow did it against Brock Purdy earlier this year. Lamar Jackson did it against Jimmy Garoppolo in the season game twice. And I don't know if Josh Allen done played the 49ers yet. Nonetheless, I done seen the upper echelon quarterbacks find ways to beat the 49ers. So it really always come back to the fact that Cam Newton was right. I mean, to be honest with you, we're going to be hearing that for a while now. I mean, because that's really what it come down to. If Dak Prescott was better, and I said this after they lost in the playoffs last year, if Dak Prescott was better, they win this game. The fact that I never think to myself going into a 49er Dallas game, Dak Prescott, the big dog in this, he should find a way to get it. If it's going to be a tough game, but he going to figure. I've never thought that. Every time Dallas played him, and I don't think that Dak should, because I think Dak is better than Purdy. But the fact that that does not matter in any of these games is a problem. Because now I don't know if he's better than Purdy. I really don't. Because like I said, I see who he able to beat. I see that the NFC is weak. And now this is the real problem. Purdy got more talent and that basically play the same sorry ass schedule. It's very interesting, to be completely honest with you. The NFC, man, we should just not allow people in the NFC, quarterbacks in the NFC, to be MVP candidates. That's what I think personally. And further proof that y'all don't look at those quarterbacks, because if you mad at me right now, it's only because I said what I said about Brock Purdy. But check this out. Last year, was you mad when Jalen Hurts, unless you're an Eagle fan, Jalen Hurts was leading the MVP candidacy all year? Pat Mahomes came in and stole it at the end when Jalen Hurts got hurt. Now, some people may say it was because he got hurt. Other people might say, nope, he got hurt, and it further proved that, yeah, Pat Mahomes is more valuable because of the talent that he playing with compared to what Hurts playing with. And didn't the Eagles still win games when Hurts got hurt? And how long was Hurt out? For like 1 day? I mean, for like 1 game or 2 games? 3 games? I couldn't even remember how many games he was out for, but I'm just saying. Even the public think to themselves, yeah, we like Jalen Hurts. He a great quarterback. We like Purdy. We like Dak. They great quarterback. They not the quarterbacks in the AFC. And I really got a problem with this. I'm going to be honest with you. I wish the NFL was more like the NBA. The fact that we will never see Pat Mahomes and Lamar Jackson in the Super Bowl against each other. See, I be seeing a lot of people be like, man, I need that Lamar Dak Prescott. I need that Lamar Jalen Hurts. And I do too. I would love to see that. But do you know how different it would hit to see Lamar Jackson take on Pat Mahomes in the Super Bowl, bro? That shit would be crazy. Lamar Jackson take on Josh Allen in the Super Bowl, bro. Lamar Jackson v. Joe Burrow in the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow taking on Pat Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow taking on Josh Allen in the Super Bowl. Josh Allen taking on Pat Mahomes in the Super Bowl. We'll never get it. This is why I cannot be as critical of Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow. Because we acting like they got to play against what Peyton Manning and Tom Brady played against their whole career. Bro, Peyton Manning had Matt Schaub in his division for the longest. Tom Brady was never worried about none of them 3 teams in his division. Basically his entire career until he finally left out of that division because they wasn't beating Josh Allen and them boys. He saw it was Tom, even though I think more so it was Pat Mahomes. But mind you, we never even got Pat. No, we did get Pat Mahomes, Tom Brady in the Super Bowl when Pat Mahomes and them boys got their ass whipped. That was disappointing. Nonetheless, when you look at, it's hard to be critical of them dudes, bro. Because like I said, they got to beat each other to get there. That's why I get irritated when people be talking shiesty when they don't do this in the playoffs. They don't do that. Y'all like Trevor Lawrence. Y'all think he great. CJ Stroud. Shit. Trevor Lawrence, CJ Stroud, Justin Herbert. Y'all think them dudes gonna be great, right? Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Pat Mahomes got to figure a way through that minefield. Meanwhile, you got those. I ain't even gonna go through the names over there for the NFC because I don't got the time. That's why I'm praying that my boy Jordan Love become the next Aaron Rodgers because he could run that fucking conference. Look at what the AFC quarterbacks got to deal with compared to what the NFC quarterbacks got to deal with. This is why I got a problem with Dak Prescott not being able to beat none of them dudes. Because what would he do if that's what irritates me also when y'all be like, oh, if you put Dak on this team. Motherfucker, I don't care who he got on his team. Put him on some of these teams in the AFC. It ain't about the team he got. It's about his mental when he go into these games against these other top guys. It ain't the same. If he got to live in a conference that's got Lamar, Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, CJ Stroud, Deshaun Watson, how you think he gonna fare when he can't even fare great in a division? He can't even beat on a regular basis Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy, who y'all don't even think is great quarterbacks. Most people think those are system quarterbacks who good because of the talent around them. I'm seeing Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow and, well, not Joe Burrow, but I'm seeing Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and all them boys be great. I'm seeing Lamar Jackson and Pat Mahomes carry teams that don't have great weaponry around them on a regular basis. I'm looking at Josh Allen have to survive with just one receiver all the time. But I'm seeing Joe Burrow up his play every time he play against top tier guys. So all them dudes done it. They done shown me how great they can be, how great they are. And they play in a gauntlet of guys. Bro, y'all think Trevor Lawrence trash after he done played against Lamar Jackson and some of them boys who already know they can go into a game against top tier talent and win those games. Y'all thought Miami was the shit. Pat Mahomes and the offense was struggling. Pat Mahomes said, I'm still him though. So I'm still going to beat this team that y'all think is better than me. It's just something about guys who know they are him. They hit different. They play different. They sell different. They get celebrated different. Except for Lamar for some reason. It's very weird. But that's my problem when I look at Dallas. That's my problem really when I look at the entire NFC. What quarterbacks stand out amongst the pack? What quarterback and what team is really making it tough? Because the more and more I listen to how people dick ride the San Francisco 49ers, and the more and more I'm hearing how they not really calling out the fact that the NFC is not nearly as competitive as the AFC. I'm disappointed in. I saw somebody say the other day, Pat Mahomes' only goal is always going to be a Super Bowl. Bro, that's everybody's only goal is a Super Bowl. To think that Pat Mahomes is exclusively the only guy who compete every year and Super Bowl is the only. Y'all might think that if the Ravens get to the second round and lose, that's good enough for Lamar. Lamar don't think that's good enough for Lamar because that's a whole season wasted. Now we got to start back at zero to get to the Super Bowl again. But y'all analysts for some reason don't think like that. That's how the players thinking. The ones who want to be great. Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is pissed right now. He knows if we would have a great chance to win a Super Bowl if I was out there. I'm not out there, so I don't think we have as great a chance. And if we don't win it because I'm not out there, we got to start all the way back at zero next year. We got to run through this gauntlet all over again. That's why it hurt them more when they lose key pieces. That's why you heard Lamar talk about how he wanted to win a Super Bowl while Marshall Yonder was there. Because when greatness leave the room, You don't know when it's going to come back, especially when you know you the greatest in the room and you need greatness around you to be great. Not to be great, but it make your job a lot easier. You're not relying on these dudes around you, but you know how hard it is and how short greatness can be lived. So when I look at the Pat Mahomes, the Lamar Jacksons, the Joe Burrows, and the Josh Allens, to me, that's an upper echelon of quarterbacks who they shouldn't be criticized on a yearly basis the way other quarterbacks are. Why? Now, Joe Burrow to a different extent because he do got enough talent to where he should have been winning he should have won one Super Bowl by now. However, it's tough when you play in this gauntlet of greatness in the AFC compared to what they play in the NFC. And I really wish that the NFL could change up divisions again. I really wish some type of mix up could happen because I think as NFL fans, we are being robbed of greatness. We will never experience true euphoria because we cannot see Lamar Jackson in his apex take on Pat Mahomes in his apex in a Super Bowl. I understand how dope it would be to see Lamar or Pat Mahomes and all these guys take on those quarterbacks in the NFC. You think more about that because of the team. I done seen Pat Mahomes beat a great 49er team. I don't care to see that again. I don't. I done seen Pat Mahomes beat a great Philadelphia Eagles team. I don't want to see that again. Maybe if you a fan of one of them teams, you want to see that shit again. I don't. I want to see Pat Mahomes be able to go up against Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen in the Super Bowl. I want to see Josh Allen be able to take on Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes, Joe Burrow in the Super Bowl. And the vice versa for Josh Allen and Joe Burrow and all those other four quarterbacks that I named, the four horsemen basically. And we being robbed of that because of all these motherfuckers playing the AFC. But not only is we being robbed of it, these quarterbacks is taking unwarranted criticism at this point that now that I'm starting to realize the more and more I look at the AFC will never be fair to them. Because do you know how great of a year you have to have or how down other teams have to be to really get to the Super Bowl in the AFC right now? With the level of competition in the AFC right now. It's out of this world. It don't make no sense at this moment. Like I said, look at all the quarterbacks who you think going to be great in the AFC. Now mix it with all the quarterbacks that you know is great in the AFC. Now compare that shit to the NFC. Why do you say all of this, Saint? Well, all of that I said was backing up basically Josh Allen, Lamar, Pat, and Joe Burrow. But all of that also was to say, you're out of your fucking mind if you think Brock Purdy the MVP after everything I just said. But with that, I'm fully on my Lamar Jackson as the MVP campaign. And you better pray to God. If you a San Francisco fan or if you a hater of Lamar Jackson, you better pray to God he lose on Christmas night. With that, I bid you adieu. I appreciate you for joining me on another episode of Kicking It With Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with him. Tell somebody you love him. I hope that you are having... I am dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the one I used to know. I ain't heard that one. Just like the one I used to know. I was listening to that. Oh, how I love an uptown girl. She's the one I'm thinking of. Daisy May, your mother don't approve of me, so I take the midnight trolley to be with her. Daisy May, Daisy May, Daisy May, Daisy May. Daisy May, I know That's my guy, Leon Bridge. Okay, bro. Listen, I felt like we ain't sung on the channel in a long time. I bet you somebody like, bro, he sung again and he sung another fucking song I didn't know. All right, bro, calm down. Let's think of something. Come on, let's put our minds together, bro. Don't I make it look easy? That was my guy Leon Bridges though for that previous song I was singing called Daisy May. If you care to check that out. Don't I make it look easy, baby? When I do what I do, when I do what I do, don't I make it look easy, baby? I'm fooling you. I just heard that shit the other day. That's Meghan Trainor. I don't even know what it's called, but that's not what we was thinking of, bro. Come on, let's think of a song that we all collectively know, bro. Let's think of a song we collectively know. Y'all saw that man Jonathan Majors was found guilty. I ain't gonna say what I want to say, but black men, y'all stay up out there. I'm trying to think of something, fellas. It's Christmas time. It's Christmas time. It's Christmas time. Nothing is coming. Nothing is coming. Pause, bro. Pause. Nothing's coming to my brain at the moment on a Christmas song. Let's think. I haven't had no Christmas spirit today, bro. That's the problem. Bad shit been happening to me all day, and I've been getting through it. And I said I'm still going to record my show tonight because I got to talk to the people. See this video, bro. Brock Purdy and Lamar Jackson both making strong cases for MVP. Brock Purdy's not making a strong case for MVP. I got no disrespect and no hate in my heart for Brock Purdy. For one, if you watch this show, I don't even have to say that because I was riding with Brock Purdy from day one. Like, I've been rocking with Brock Purdy. I feel like I'm one of the few people in the media that's done been, and I'm not in the media right now, but I feel like I'm one of the few people who talk about Brock Purdy that's actually been consistent in what I've said about Brock Purdy. I've at no point in time jumped out the window, jumped in the apartment, none of that. I done remained consistent in my critique and my praise of Brock Purdy. I at no point in time have jumped out the window and went crazy. So I feel like, and if, like I said, if you watch the show, hell, it was just recent that you might have thought like, oh, he might not like the 49ers. Cause the way I've been celebrating the 49ers on this show is ridiculous, bro. I mean, just straight up. Like I do want to say something before. Matter of fact, I had this conversation on the next episode. I ain't even gonna give you a hint as to what the thing was gonna be. Shout out to my guy Leon Edwards for beating Kobe Covington bitch ass at UFC 296. I couldn't even explain to y'all how great it feel to see Kobe keep losing to black man for the one thing he want more than anything else in the world. That title. He want that title more than he want the attention he get, man. It's absolutely crazy. I know Donald Trump. I want to put a lie detector to Donald Trump and ask him, do he think Kobe a bitch? Because he keep rocking out with me and you keep losing every time I show up, you hoe ass. I had to cut my line short because it was going to, if I had to let it roll off the tongue the way it was going to roll off the tongue. Oh, baby. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint, man. Tell somebody you fuck with him. Tell somebody you illogical for them to think they responsible for our success. That's Benny the Butcher. It's the Butcher. About time I got my respect. It's the Butcher. Yo, I heard a song by Olivia Rodrigo the other night as I was just letting my phone play music. An Olivia Rodrigo song played. Now, it took me a while to actually hear the song because the song that played before it was so hard, bro. Like, it was a banger. But when it finally got to that song, where is Cam not on an NFL roster? Oh, that's Skip Bayless being a bitch. But when I finally heard the song, I was like, oh, you know what? This song pretty decent, man. This song pretty decent. I got to go back and listen to it again. But with that being said, bro, I appreciate y'all for joining. Drugging off gets taken away in a stretcher after the match. I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with him. Tell somebody you love him. You could be anything in the world. My throat been hurting the whole show. Pause. You could be anything in the world. Hold up, bro. Start the shit over. I appreciate you for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with him. Tell somebody you love him. You could be anything in the world. Choose to be kind to somebody today. I fuck with you. I love you. Like, subscribe, share. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy, scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty ran track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber, you out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.